Yeah.
We just went to a Renaissance fair in Austin last weekend. And at first, JJ was kind of resistant of the very colorful characters that are there. And after I was challenged to hit a guy in the face with a tomato. So I'll paint the scene real quick. We were walking by and there was literally a tomato throwing booth, kind of like a dunk tank. You guys know what those are? Except it was just a guy with his head through a giant cardboard wall and just shouting out insults and he was yelling at people walking by and the thing was that you would pay a couple bucks and you'd get like half a dozen tomatoes and you could chuck at this guy and try to hit him in the face. And it was a pretty good throw. I mean, I'd say it was maybe 30 to 40 feet away. And so the young lady who was taking the money and giving the tomatoes happened to be a big fan of the show. And so, needless to say, she just said, "You can throw as many as you want." And so JJ was busy. She had like a fairy who was talking to her, and so she finally asked Danielle to put her princess dress on. So now she was in her princess dress, and she was starting to kind of come around to the whole idea. And then they walk up and look at Danielle, and I'm like, so apparently I get to throw tomatoes at this guy's face, and he's yelling. He's like, I don't care what show you're on. You probably still have the stink of LA in your face. You probably the stink of rejection from all the shows you couldn't get. Oh yeah, no, he wasn't holding back. He was awesome. And Jensen's like, how does he know? Yeah. And so JJ's like, what's happening, Daddy? And I'm like, Daddy's gonna try to hit this man in the face with a tomato. And so I fired one, and it hit the car, because it was it was like the size of the stage. And if the guy was like back here, like this, you're talking maybe 4 or 5 rows deep was where I was standing. This big of a target. And it took me 5, and the 5th one, I hit him so hard. I'm not kidding. Because with each one, I was like zeroing in on him. And apparently the girl was like, he hasn't been hit all day, so he's really, and I'm like, well, how often does he get hit? She's like, a couple times a weekend. I'm like, that's it? I'm like, oh, challenge accepted. So, I played baseball, I have a decent arm. I was rifling these things in there. I mean, as hard as I could possibly throw this thing. And one hit, boom, and he started mouthing off, and he looked down, and Rodney said, I didn't even waste time between, I just, whoa! And it hit him and like split his eye, and it knocked him out of the hole. Oh, I was proud. And I was even more proud when I turned to JJ and she was like, yeah, Daddy! And then the guy had to walk it off. He came all the way out from behind like the barricade and came out to shake my hand. He's like, it's the hardest I've been hit in a long time. So setting very good examples for my child, that's one thing that's happened.
Respectfully, I can't beat that. So
I'll have to bring you next time and we can just like...
Yeah. We were playing at the house. I took my kids, there's a show that is their favorite show, it's called Wildcrats. I don't know if you're Wildcrats. And they did a live action show in Austin. And so I called my manager and was like, hey, is there any chance we can like get backstage to meet the Wildcrats? And it was the best day of Tom and Shep's life. I mean, Martin and Chris Pratt came out and they were like, I mean, like kids, like true joy in their face. I looked at Jen and I was like, our sons just peaked. They're 2 and 4. I'm like, it's all downhill from here. And we met the Pratt brothers and they were amazing and incredible and kind and genuine and yeah, that was a good night for the little Padalecki boys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.